I gotta make sure we plug it. Oh, no, the other way. Oh. YouTube. Today we're going to be changing out this multifunction control handle. Now, you might ask yourself, how did that happen? I know that lots of people have asked me. Let me give you a small reenactment of how this went. Hey man, how did this handle break? Well boss, you see, I was like leaning on it, and I just leaned on it very gently, and it just popped off. So how did it snap the handle off? I don't know, but I just leaned on it. Must have been the mechanic. He just worked on it. Alright. First thing is, we gotta get this off. Remember guys, RC stands for ridiculous covers. So after you get all your ridiculous covers off, we can start to take this apart. Ugh. Now the cool thing is, I've cut and modified most of these so that I can just take this off without too much of a problem. You should do the same to yours, because you'll have to go in here quite a bit. Take this off. This is for the optical switches, and I'll take this base plate off. And I have a bunch of heater wires, but I've gone ahead and put like spade connectors on them because these guys break this stuff off so much to damage things that I have to take these out regularly. So I'll be, swapping them out will be pretty easy. Taking out that little optical sensor block. Now generally when I order these handles, I do not order aftermarket ones, mostly because they're terrible, and let's face it, the crown ones are pretty bad also. Everything these days has quality with a K. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this block back on first. I'll do the heater wires last. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is set up my zip ties here, like so. Because the thing is, if you do not zip tie the optical switch sensor wiring back, it's gonna break. It breaks the sensors every time. This is actually one time you actually do want to zip tie some crap. So I'm going to just get this kind of sitting here. I'm going to come around here and I'm going to go ahead and secure, not all the way, but just enough that I get both zip ties started, and then I have to put the third zip tie on here, which goes through the back. Like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually physically watch the movement of the handle. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, the main thing I want to show you here is not this jumble of heater wires coming directly out of here into that, but it's this. This is the wiring I was saying you got to tie back. This wiring here. And you got to make sure that it's secured just like this. See how this loop is? You want it just like that. And then on the back side, you have a zip tie that comes out and it grabs around the top of the wire harness. And you want to make it so that when you're moving the handle, it allows the cut part of the handle to pass over the wirings. Alright, so you see this wiring right here. I'm sure you can see the yellow wire. As I move the handle, you can see that it doesn't move, that it stays steady. And that's what you want. So now, I'll just go ahead and secure the rest of the Torx fasteners. And then we'll move on to the terminal pin wiring. Hook up my heaters here. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of burned me. Alright, and we're just gonna tuck this jumble of garbage right under here. Okay, so the last step of this process is you need to calibrate all the functions in the handle. So put in your 2311 code to get in here, and then we're going to go to calibrate. Don't step on the pedals when you're trying to get into calibrate, or it won't show up in the menu. You go to handles, traction, yes. So we can actually see it working. All right. Okay. So we go forward, enter. Now it wants max reverse. Enter. Then it wants to center the handle, which we have. Enter. We're going to save it. Should say calibration accepted. Perfect. And we're going to go to hydraulics or lift. Yes, I'm sure. Alright, so we're going to go to raise max. Enter. Lower max. Enter. And then neutral, and enter. Accepted. Perfect. I have to do this one with two hands, so it wants me to go forward, enter, thumb wheel backwards, enter, and neutral, enter. And it says calibration accepted. Alright, so now I'm going to cycle truck and test it. There you go. Awesome. Okay. Okay, YouTube, so if you ever have to change a multifunction control handle on your crown, just remember those quick little tips. Make sure you zip tie your wiring back for your optical switches, or the actual sensor will break, because those wires will pull on the little plastic part of the sensor and they break. So make sure you zip tie those back, make sure you calibrate your handle once it's in, and make sure you hook up your heaters if you have a freezer truck, or it'll quit working an hour after it's in the freezer, or 5 minutes, or whatever. So thanks again for everybody for watching, and see you next time.